overtime.
Hold on, you might need to restart.
Hey, what's up, guys? Krishna here today with Overtime.Hk. Here to chat about coaching, lifestyle, fitness, and talk about basically the Fitaye app that has just launched. Basically, the app helps you connect to clients all around the world. Currently based in Hong Kong, but soon to expand globally. The main purpose is the scheduling, payments, and booking.
Right.
And the app basically protects the coaches through the cancellation policies. So yeah, glad to have you here today with us.
Thanks for having me, man. Particularly what makes Overtime so special, right, is because we run the I'm Possible training system. I was there about 2 years ago in the U.S. learning from Michael Lancaster, who's the owner of I'm Possible. He's what we call the guru of skill enhancement. Skill enhancement is a term that he came up with. That's basically, it's a little bit different than what people are used to. So it's kind of conditioning, strength and conditioning for the world of basketball, if you want to say it. So it's more of the raw details of the skills itself. So we won't be talking too much about, hey, if the defender goes right, you go left. We won't be talking about stuff like that. We talk about raw details. So how many ways can you take a step? Like, we got 22 different ways you can just step forward. Well, we have trained a lot of NBA players. Brandon Ingram, Victor Oladipo, Kyrie Irving that was there before his NBA college workout, and then Karl Anthony Towns, Kemba Walker.
So I guess let's start off easy. How did you get into coaching basketball?
So my story goes, well, obviously I love playing basketball. I've been playing for over 15 years, right? I started a little too late, but when I started coaching, I was an English teacher. I was a teacher in a primary school, and then I told them, hey, I love basketball and I want to coach, because there was no coach there. And what happened was, they were like, sure, you can coach, but we won't pay you. I was like, cool, I'll do it, right? So I started off doing that, and I did that for about a year. But the thing I realized that even though my job was to teach English, and I found that I was more passionate about the coaching side. Like, I was waiting the whole week for that one day that I'll go coach. So I'll spend all my time researching, pulling up drills. I didn't know much, right?
Yeah.
But then that's where I kind of started. Yeah. And when my contract was over, and then I was like, guys, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Wait, how old were you at that time?
At that time, I think I was about 22, 24, somewhere around there.
Wait, you started playing at what age?
I started playing, oh my God, I started playing at 14, 15, high school.
Yeah.
I started a little too late, so
yeah.
And then when that was over, I just decided, hey, if I'm so passionate about the basketball, because basketball's always been a major part of my life. It's just I couldn't make it pro. I couldn't turn that into a career. I couldn't do that. And when I saw that, and I just, some things, just instantly click.
Yeah.
So it clicked for me, and I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Yeah. And then I just, one step at a time, I stopped my school job. And at that time, I started off as a personal trainer, because, obviously, I didn't know anything about coaching. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about anything, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to stay.
Slow down. So you started playing at 14, 15?
Yeah, about there.
In high school?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Hong Kong, right? I moved there when I was 7.
Okay.
So
from where?
From Pakistan. Originally
nice.
From Pakistan. Yeah. So my family moved when I was about 7.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, Hong Kong's home. So, yeah.
Of course. I feel like so many people that come to Hong Kong, once they move here, it's like they're here for a while.
Yeah, no, Hong Kong is a beautiful place. I mean, especially if you come from India or Pakistan, you just see the life here is just so much different.
Yeah.
So then I mean, we were fortunate enough to, I even got my SR passport. So I mean, I'm not going anywhere now, right? So Hong Kong's home, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you went through about senior school in Hong Kong.
Yeah, high school, college.
The ending
stuff.
Of high school.
Yeah.
So you did college here as well.
Yeah, I went to.
So you're playing all through, basically from after you moved to Hong Kong.
So
more so.
Yeah, when I moved to Hong Kong, I wasn't playing basketball because I'm, brown people, we play cricket,
yeah.
right? So I played a lot of cricket growing up. And then at one point, I just kind of, because I tried a lot of sports, right?
Right.
I tried a lot of sports. I tried basketball. I tried cricket. I tried football, table tennis, badminton, you name it, right?
Yeah.
But everything else just sort of came to me naturally because, I was just
everything's
active.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
At that age, you try everything.
But now then you try basketball.
Yeah,
it's such a detail oriented and such a talent based game
Yeah.
that even soccer, like you could kick the ball,
Yeah.
but just dribbling the ball, like I teach kids nowadays, and I'm like they all go to football classes, most of them,
Right.
and it's easy for them to kick the ball,
Right.
but to handle a basketball, it takes a lot
It's a
more.
different skill set.
Yeah. So I was just horrible at it, and I was like, bro, like I suck. So the more you're bad at something, and then if you slowly put more work in, and then the obsession starts, and then when the obsession starts, there's just no limit. It just keeps going.
Right.
So I find that because I wasn't so talented at that game, I just find that because of that, I just work harder than everybody else.
Right.
And even in terms of like now what I do, I still feel like I try to teach something to the kids, and I was like, bro, that took me like 2 hours to get. How can you get that in like 10 minutes?
Right.
Or like 2 reps sometimes.
Why do you think it is that like newer generations are so almost like quick to pick up things?
I don't think it's newer generation. I just think it's person to person. So every person has a different way of learning. This is something I learned as a coach, as a trainer.
Right.
Everybody learns at their own pace.
Right.
And sometimes, like this is something that happened to me a lot, is I always got told you'll never make it in this game because you just don't have the it factor.
Sure,
You hear that all the time, especially with you as you play football and all that. I mean, people always say that, and it's true because there's a lot of people that make it in a sport, and there's a lot of people that don't make it in a sport even though they work hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't work hard, they make it. I mean, these are just facts, right? Because talent exists, right? So I find that the more talented you are, the lazier you are.
Yeah.
Because you take
it's like
things
you
for
gotta
granted.
you gotta put together a lot of factors,
Yeah.
like talented and work hard.
Absolutely.
And like luck hitting right time. There's like quite a few factors that go into like making it, but props to those who do.
I mean, I still respect everybody, even if you're talented and you don't work hard, there's still some type of work that you do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Like you can't just say that guy just woke up and he started making 3-point shots. Sure, he might make more than others, but it doesn't work that way, right?
It's just that like
there's still work involved.
Sports like really beautiful in a way that like it brings a lot of people together, and like even like through high school and stuff, like socializing. It just helps like. I don't know, your confidence, your kind of like ability to communicate with others. You're almost like pushed to do it just through like playing.
Absolutely.
So after what'd you study in college?
I studied business, bro. I studied business administration.
I mean, you're in business now.
But then that's the thing, right?
Business applies to like everything.
When I learned the business side of things from the business itself,
right?
It's nothing like school.
Yeah.
Because practical life is in school.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I always tell people is like, don't let school judge your future. Because I was told a lot, right? I was told a lot. You're wasting your life playing basketball. You're doing nothing. You're gonna go nowhere in life. You don't pass your exams. You're gonna be nothing. You're not gonna get a good job. And I was like told by everybody, right? And then I'm not saying I made it, but like I'm doing what I love for like 6 years. I've been doing this, right? It was a tough road, definitely. But I feel like school doesn't really translate that much to life. Yeah. It's because everybody's different, right? Yeah. Like I don't care for math, bro. Yeah. I don't care for it. Straight up, bro. Yeah. I don't care for it. Algebra isn't gonna help me in life, at least not now, right? Yeah. Now, as you go progress in life, this is something I tell kids and even friends, like anybody that talks to me about like just doing what you do. Find what you want to do, and once you find it, don't let it go. Yeah, just because most people, they find it and they kind of let others get in their head, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You find it, just go for it. Cut off everybody, just do it. Yeah, that's how I've been doing it for. Well, man, it's been such a long time. I cut everything off, like even like I don't want to say I cut off my friends, but it's just naturally it's a progression. You just focus on what you do, and everybody just dies off. Yeah, right? They just fall off. Somehow it's just like once you start really honing down and focusing on like your coaching, I feel like you just really progress. Like I've been seeing like all your videos, and like it's amazing to see what you're doing and all the like kids that you're kind of inspiring into this sport that you also love. And like I love that energy that you bring to the coaching sessions, like like really pump them up and like get them excited about like going to the basket, spinning, like focusing on their footwork, all these different things that like maybe they don't realize that like a lot of the time just need someone to like push them, That's one thing I noticed with the new generation is that I call them overprivileged. I really do, bro. Like, because think about it, right? Like, when we grew up, like, I might be a little bit older than you, right? But like, you're still not that. Like, you're still not the 2000s, like 2010s generation, you know. So like, we didn't have the phones.
Yeah, no, the phones.
We didn't have the phones, man. I remember when I was growing up, it was so hard to get knowledge for basketball. I remember, you know, torrents back then.
No.
We used to download pirate
torrents.
videos, right? So I remember back then when I found out it was called Better Basketball. I remember this because it took me such a long, because parents weren't gonna pay for my basketball.
Right.
That's just the type of family I come from. I mean, they're not gonna pay. They're not gonna be like, here, spend a few $100s on, like, go get the program, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or go pay that coach, whatever. So I had to learn everything on my own. Sure, I had coaches helping me, but it wasn't enough, right? I wanted more. So a Better Basketball was a program that had like different videos. It was like a DVD. I don't know how much it was, like a few $100 US maybe, or something like that. It wasn't even that expensive. So once I found a torrent for it, bro, I went crazy. I was like, oh my God. I still call it my, I have a folder on my phone that says secret. So that's where I started, and then I just downloaded that, and I was like, whoa, knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can learn all these drills and everything. Now I go on YouTube, I search up NBA workout. 1 hour workout, entire workout for free.
Full workouts, yeah.
So what excuse do we have now?
Yeah, now it's like knowledge is just everywhere.
Right, like,
it's accessible.
Like, think about it. Like I have 4,000 people on my page, probably.
Yeah.
How many people even do one drill? I would say one or two.
Yeah.
Right. And then every time somebody wants to train with me, they'll give me this. I call this the biggest excuse. My finances don't allow me. It was like, bro, pick up the video on my Instagram, go do it, send me a review. I'll do it for you for free. No questions asked.
Yeah, just to help.
And they don't do it. And then they'll be like, bro, I can't pay you. I was like, who's asking you to pay me?
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I call them overprivileged. And the ones that do pay, sometimes I had kids that pay me out of their own pocket, and those ones, they go all out because it's really coming out of their pocket. It comes from your parents. They get lazy, they get tired.
You feel it, but you don't feel it the same one as your money.
It's coming to a point, like, I've even told kids, stop wasting your parents' money, because I don't need that. Right? You can just go do something you don't want to do. Right? You want to do, instead of doing this because your parents want you to.
Right.
There's but then that's the generation we're in right now. So
right.
Parents want them to do basketball for exercise. I'm like, come on, man. Go run for exercise,
man.
Yeah,
I know, right? Just go run like 3-4K.
Come on, bro. Like, you know, this is and especially the things I do, and obviously because I specialize in a certain area of the game itself, I find that if you're really not passionate about it, it's going to be very hard for you to even, you know, commit to something like this.
Yeah, you gotta push. But like, I don't know. Do you totally disagree with those parents for like pushing?
No, I don't disagree with them, but it comes to a point where a kid's been in my class for, let's say, 4 months, and he looks like he doesn't want to be here, and I straight up go ask him, do you want to be here? If your parents want you to be here, I'll talk to them. You don't want to be here, you don't come again. Most of the times kids are too afraid to say that.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of times it like disrupts the energy too.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
it does. It's contagious, bro. Like, if one guy's being lazy, he's gonna affect everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one thing I noticed.
It's the same way with someone working hard.
Absolutely.
If there's someone like busting, a lot of the time, like other, you know, everyone else will kind of just try to like match that energy. Yeah. So it's like, it's also nice to have like those kids that are really passionate about it in those sessions.
Bro, that's why I tell them straight up, like obviously doing what I do, like I said, I was very specialized in it. So I look at a kid that's 7, 8 years old, and I'll look at a kid that's like 10, 15, and I'll just straight up look at that guy and be like, hey, that guy's doing exactly the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Why is he getting better and you're not?
Yeah.
Right? And oftentimes the answer is simple. He's putting more work in on his own than you are. Yeah. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, the system doesn't change. Right? I'll take a 10-year-old kid, I'll take a professional player, I'll put them through the same exact workout. Yeah. Right? Sometimes a kid might be doing better, sometimes pro might be doing better, but what I'm trying to say is that because the workout is the same, that means you should be getting better equally well. Obviously, talent, you know, learning, all that still includes in that. But that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, is because we can bridge the gap between the talented ones. Right. Because like, based on what we do specifically, like the skills aspect of things, like we can actually help the non-talented ones. That's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I've seen progress in myself, I've seen it in kids. Things that take me 10 years to learn, I can teach that. And this is not to brag. This is just facts, because I've seen it. It takes me a session to teach someone that took me 10 years to learn. So to me, there's nothing that even comes close to that feeling.
Right.
And I find that that's what people really really take things for granted.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So
how do you feel it like? How do you feel it's different for when you're there with the kid versus like if you're doing a Zoom class or they're just filming themselves and then sending that?
So when I'm there, it feels, because this is the same thing with group classes, personal training classes, right? When I'm there, I get their attention. They don't have a choice.
Right.
When I'm not there, the attention has to come from their dedication.
Right.
So if I'm not there in a, like say 10, 15 people,
Yeah.
right? If that's a big class and I'm there with them, even though I'm there with them, 10 people will not be the same as 2 people.
Right.
Right? Because their attention span, again, the kids nowadays, bro, their attention span
Everyone's
is 10
10 and
seconds.
they're like waiting in line. It's
Yeah.
like they're talking and stuff.
Yeah, so I don't do lines. I hate lines. I absolutely don't want them to waste 20 seconds while somebody else is doing. So I tell them to, work while they're waiting for their turn, stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll just have specific drills that don't even involve a line, right?
What are like your key, like maybe like top 5, or what's your top 1 drill that you do with like pretty much every student?
So, the drop, right? For us, the drop is the most important footwork in the game of basketball. Now, that's basically splitting your feet. Like, you don't play a lot of basketball, but splitting your feet is the most common footwork you'll see. You can watch any basketball video. You'll see kids, you'll see high school players, because we call it the most important footwork because it's seen everywhere at every level, right? And there's like 42 different. We have a checklist app where you have 42 different skills, 42 different types of just doing drops. So I would always teach the drop because, well, if you don't have the most common skill in the game of basketball, like,
Can you walk us through how, like, I don't know, some of our viewers maybe if they want to try it and learn
a drop is basically a 4-dimensional move, right?
Okay.
But actually it's 5-dimensional. So let's say you take a step, right? In the game of basketball, when you take a step, or just general, I try to keep it common sense based, right? When you take a step, right, you go forward, right? But you're in an explosive stance. You can run from there, right? But when you do your drop, you split both feet. You're still in the same stance, but you keep your space.
Right.
So it's a matter of inches. And in a game of basketball, that's where the defense is and defense isn't.
Right.
Right. So now, when you take a step and you come back, you get back to the same space you were at.
I'm lost, man.
Right.
Break it down easier.
Break it down easier.
All right. So if someone's trying to do this drill at home, right, something basic to get started with improving footwork, improving just their game in basketball, right? Someone that's maybe not so familiar with playing.
Okay.
How do they? So what is this drill, and like how do they implement that?
Well, that's one of the reasons I say we're so specialized in the movement itself. It's very hard to explain things like these, but I'll try. Okay, so you split your feet basically.
Yeah.
All you do is you split your feet. The ball goes into your pocket.
Okay.
That's all a drop is.
So you bring it back and then
you bring the ball back and then you split both feet.
Okay.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's like 100 different things I can talk about within the details of the drop, but that's really what a drop is. So anytime you see somebody split their feet, ball going to their pocket, that's where the pocket is basically.
That's
ball
what it's
going
called.
back. That's what we call a drop.
Okay.
Now,
and like, what about certain other fundamentals like just dribbling and stuff? How can they improve kind of like handling the ball? I'm guessing like that and passing are big.
That's where the details of the drop itself come in. The positioning of the feet, the positioning of the ball, the pocket itself is an ability, right? The ability to drop the shoulder on the drop itself. So that's where
a lot of the time I'm guessing kids like are out in their backyard and they're just shooting, right? Which is good, but what other things can they do in their backyard easy to do things?
So like the thing is that everybody is different, right?
Right.
And most of the time I see people saying that they're putting in work while they're just going through motions.
Okay.
Right? The thing that makes basketball so detailed is the movements itself have very nuances, right? They change. So if anybody, obviously, I mean, you can just go to my page. There's a lot of breakdowns. But anyways.
Overtime.Hk, by the way.
Go follow. Right. So the thing is that when people trying to work out, what I would suggest them to do is find a movement that you're trying to do and repeat that exact same movement. If the movement changes, then it's not the same. Okay. Right. So let's say if you're doing if you're doing a drop, for example, right? And if you're doing it in a specific area, like let's say you split your feet, but sometimes you feel like your feet are getting skinnier, right?
Okay.
Then that's not the same anymore, because then that becomes a skinny drop. So that's why I say, because we have like 42 different.
So when you're doing a session, how long are your sessions?
So my sessions will be an hour to an hour 30 minutes.
Okay.
Group classes will be 2 hours.
Okay. By the way, he is available on Fitaye to book. So if you guys want to book him, check him out on Fitaye. You can book him through there. He has group sessions, and I think your private sessions aren't up yet. Are you planning to?
Yeah, well, I'll put that up. So
some availability for private sessions too.
Yeah, we'll do that as well.
Okay, cool.
Definitely put that up.
So you can book his private sessions, which is 1v1, or you can do group sessions, which is also up to. The limit on there is 20, but how many people do you usually do?
Maximum, I think I'll go with like 15.
15.
Sometimes I have another coach.
Bigger group gets a bit tougher,
bigger groups will be like that, and then the PT ones that will be like 1 to 4 people.
Yeah.
Now it's still one reason we don't do absolute private sessions. That's,
the private sessions on there are like one-on-one. So if you wanted to do like a 4, you can just edit the.
Yeah, so we can work something out, but I avoid doing one-on-one because one-on-one becomes babysitting.
Right.
The reason one-on-one becomes babysitting because there's literally just you and the person, right? And
but don't you think that can like help someone develop a lot?
But then it takes away the competitive nature. So if you have 2 people, for example, then you can be like, hey, look what he's doing, look at the energy he's putting in, and look at the energy I'm putting in.
But a lot of the time, if it's 2 people, you need them at the same level, no?
Not necessarily. That's one thing we are actually experts in. We can take a kid and take a pro and put him through the same workout.
Okay.
The thing that makes it advanced or basic is details. Details, speed, energy, right? I wouldn't even say energy and speed. I would say it's the detail
like
within the movement.
It's done.
Like how clean it's done. So if I'm talking to a pro about, let's say, the drop, then I could give him 20 more things than I'll give a 5-year-old kid.
Right, because that 5-year-old kid's just trying to figure out his feet and his hands.
Exactly. So that's something I think we are probably the best in the world at that.
Yeah.
And that's something that we do that separates us from a lot of others, is that we don't want to categorize you based on your, like, I wouldn't say age group or skill level or stuff like that. Sure, if you cannot even dribble the ball, then that's a different story. Right. Then
start practicing.
Yeah. Then I'm very limited to what I can even teach.
Right.
But even then, I have 5-year-old kids in my class working with a 15-year-old kid. So let's say if a kid is like 5-year-old, he can't even dribble the ball, I can still teach him the drop because I can teach him the feet.
So for your sessions, do you like walk us through, I guess, age group, in terms of like age group, what days you usually coach, and then probably at the end the pricing? We can go one by one. So first, like, age group, I know you mentioned to me briefly, and I've seen a lot of sessions with you. I know you do pro and you do kids, like.
So kids, so we have a kids program, right? That's basically, even though I said that we put them together.
Right.
Kids program will be, we'll take away the basket from them, because there's literally, like, this is something for the viewers to understand. For a 5-year-old kid to shoot a basketball is like throwing a bowling ball. That's something I learned from, I don't remember what coach was it. This is not mine. My ideas. I would give him a shout out, but I forgot his name. But he said, like, it's throwing a bowling ball for an adult is equivalent to shooting like a regular basketball for a 5-10-year-old kid. Not even 10, 5 to 7-year-old kid. 10-year-olds are usually a little stronger. So for them to shoot a basket is pointless, right? And we don't do small baskets because there's a lot more to basketball than just putting the ball in the hoop, right? So we focus on the feet. Sometimes we'll take away the ball, give them a cone. So those will be the kid sessions, right? And then the older kids, that will be anybody above 9. Right, they can dribble the ball, they can go for a layup. So we'll finish the 1 hour, then those guys will be doing 2 hours. So the kids sessions are 1 hour.
So usually, like, you're doing back-to-back sessions through the day.
Yeah. Okay. So I sort of combine them. So 1 hour for the kids, and then when they're done, they go. Then the older kids, they stay in for another hour.
Okay.
And then we can talk more about, like, how more defense details. Rotating and stuff like that.
Right.
But then, because we usually start off with building a skill, so I've been doing this for 6 years now, right? And every session is never the same because there's just so much to teach, right? So we have over 1,000 skills and methods that we teach. So then every time it's different.
So this program is like, is it a certain number of classes?
Yeah, so we do it on a 4-month basis because
Okay.
that's a minimum commitment. I tell the
Right.
parents the same thing. If your
Right.
kid can't commit to 4 months, like,
Right.
you know, because if you have them commit to like one session, sure, you can
Yeah.
do drop-ins. They do that if they want to experience what we do. But then, like, if you can't commit to 4 months, because 4 months is enough time to build passion.
So
It's
that's
enough
like
time to build
okay.
in some
So
skill
you're
set.
looking at minimum the 10 class package.
Yeah, something like that.
So by the way, guys, through Fitaye, the coach can basically determine like, do they want to? So they have pricing usually put down for 1 class packages and 4 class packages, but after that it goes up to 6 and 10. And so if you guys are looking to kind of get the full experience with Overtime, he will have the packaging and pricing down for the 10 class package, so you guys can just book that straight out, and you can actually schedule off the sessions against his availability through the app as well. Regarding the cancellation policy, I'm just going to quickly mention this. So if you cancel before 12 hours as a client, you get your class back. If you cancel as a client within 12 hours of the start time of the class, you lose the class. Regarding the coaches, if they cancel prior to 12 hours, obviously then the client just gets an unscheduled class back. And if the coach cancels within 12 hours, they'll get a warning, which will then be handled by, the Fitaye admins.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's super biased to the coaches,
No,
obviously.
straight up. Everybody's time is valuable, bro.
Yeah, everyone's time is valuable, and, especially for coaches the day before, I mean, they want to plan their next day.
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
have back-to-back sessions. You guys want to be able to at least attempt to fill that slot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's important that kind of like, people can't just jump out last minute without any consequences. And so that's also part of it. And so for the 4-month program, do you guys incorporate kind of workouts in there as well? Strength, what do you guys do in terms of like strength
specialize
training?
in skill enhancement.
Okay.
Right. So we will do skill specific workouts.
Okay.
And then the strength and then the conditioning, all that stuff. Like, I find that I don't need your money to make you run.
Right.
Right. Like
go run.
Go run. Get in shape.
Run in the morning and then come,
everybody specializes in something.
Right.
And I find that's what I started off doing. I was doing coaching. I was doing skill. I was doing game, and I was doing playing actual games, and then fitness and conditioning and nutrition. And I was like, you can't do all that.
You cannot.
That's one thing I noticed with a lot of coaches, that sure, you want to help the player as much as possible, but there's only one certain amount of time you have and they have.
Yeah.
So that's why we absolutely specialize in just the skill aspect.
Of course.
So that's how we would do it. And anything else, like, I have some clients that are a little bit more dedicated, and they're the ones that do PT. So for them, I'll bring out a Corveo. That's a little conditioning.
Okay.
So it's like a band we put up, and we hold the players, provide some resistance training, stuff like that. But in like group classes, we just go straight up. Like, let's say we're working on one movement. Let's say we're working on a drop cross today. That's all we do. Okay. Maybe add a little variation to it, but that's about it. And we'll find out how to teach it. Because to me, at the end of this is a philosophy of mine. At the end of that 2 hour, I want every kid to at least be able to perform that movement. Right. If he can't or she can't, doesn't matter how talented, how young, absolutely new to the class. It's my job to figure it out as a coach. I can't be like, hey, you can do it, you just suck. Basketball isn't for you. Right, straight up, bro. I've actually had coaches tell me that it just isn't for you. You don't have the it factor. So for me, even if you can't do it with the ball, can you move your feet at least? So you came in with into a session knowing no idea what a drop cross is. Let's say if I'm teaching you, for example, at the end of the 2 hours or 1 hour class, whatever, you should be able to at least know what it is, even if you can't perfect it. So
do it to some extent.
So most of the skills that we do, we call them abilities. So a good way of looking at this is a very
like my player on 2K.
Yeah. So a good way of looking at this is kind of like the ability to ride a bike, right? So when you're learning how to ride a bike, it might take you one day. It might take you a few hours.
Right.
But once you learn it, you can now ride a bike. I haven't ridden a bike for 10 years. I could get on right now and ride it. Because it's an ability I learned. Now, can I go win a cycling race or a triathlon or something? I can't. I haven't mastered the ability. So this is something a lot of people don't understand, is that the skills and abilities we teach, they usually take a few minutes to learn. Sometimes it even takes one rep.
Right.
Or maybe a session max I'll give a player.
Right.
And then once you learn it, it's yours. I will never do that again with you. I might do a different variation, a different aspect of it, but I will never do the same thing because there's so much to teach. We'll move on. Right? So that's a good way of looking at it. So it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like you did for some of the clients, you do like some resistance training, strength training, but you don't offer it in-house. So for those that want to get fit and then use your program for the skill and so that they can progress their fitness and their skill, what do you recommend that they do on their own time? Maybe before your session or in the morning when your session's at night. Obviously, guys, leave some rest time in between. You want to be sharp and also have energy for overtime sessions.
The way I would say is that obviously the older you get, I mean, kids will always be jumping from one coach to another coach and stuff like that. So I find that most kids already go to another coach, right? Whether it's another academy, whether it's a school team, they play somewhere else. So because we're all over the world, so there's always someone training someone. A lot of Euro players. I have personally trained over 12, maybe 14 now, professional players, one NBA guy, ex-NBA guy. I was fortunate enough to get an experience with that, and some development league players, some guys from the Philippines. So yeah, I mean,
how did you like feel when you were like? So like the NBA player. I mean, like how? I mean,
it was a very humbling experience, and it was just different. He was a monster, right? I mean, straight up, bro. He was just so fast, so aggressive. Like, it was just a different. I mean, in terms of energy, it was just like he was just so talented.
Yeah.
Like where it takes me things to explain to kids, and even high level players. Sometimes it's just like sometimes they just click because they have so much talent. Right. So to me, it was a very humbling experience training an NBA player. Every pro I've trained it's just so humbling because every pro I train, I learn something from them, and that's where I'm Possible really shines. Is that telling the best players in the world you're not good enough? That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So it does take.
Hey, you can improve on this.
Yeah, I mean, try telling, like, it's like telling Steph Curry, bro, I can make you a better shooter. Imagine that, right? So telling the best players in the world, I can make you a better player than you already are. That's really where I'm Possible shines, because you could be a great player, but you might not have all the skills. So I'm Possible has a way of explaining and teaching every single skill. Like if there's a skill,
this is an app they can download in the app store.
So the app comes with the PT program. That's something we can talk about. So the way the app works is that the app has everything listed. So like those 22 steps I talked about.
Yeah, they can follow and go through.
Exactly.
So how does that tie into like Overtime and what you offer at Overtime?
So Overtime offers the I'm Possible training system. Right. That's the curriculum. That's when I went.
That's what the certificate that you've earned to basically incorporate and start your company Overtime, and using those teachings because of that certificate and knowledge that you've obtained there.
Yeah, so I'm Possible that's why I went to the US. I spent a good month there learning personally everything I could. Got certified. Certification was funny though. So quick story, I was I'm from Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
So my certification was one day Micah, the guy, just the owner, he just comes up and like, you're gonna get certified today. I was like, okay, cool. So he picks up a Spanish guy, right? Doesn't speak a word of English. Well, he does speak English, but he tells me, what's your mother tongue? I was like, I speak Urdu. And he was like, all right, I want you to teach him in Urdu, and he's a Spanish guy. And I was like, are you serious? He was like, teach him in Urdu. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? How am I gonna do it? So I went all like, all Urdu, da. And as soon as I said the word drop, kid instantly knew what a drop was. So he did it. So obviously he had like a bunch of people there, a bunch of trainers, and we was trying to make a point, but I was a guinea pig, right? So I taught him an entire, I would say, 15-minute workout.
Oh wow!
Explaining in Urdu, and that's when blew my mind. I was like, Urdu is a language. So I'm Possible's the terminology we have. That's a language on its own. So a drop is a language. So you could go to any part of the world if. Well, the goal is to have every possible trainer, every possible coach in the world have one language because the drop is typically what somebody will call it the Jordan step, right? No, that takes away detail. So if you all have one term, like think about it, a bottle is a bottle no matter where you go. Right? If I call this a cup, and somebody calls it a bottle, that's a big problem now, right? How are we going to have a communication that way? So with the world of basketball, and because it's such a detailed sport, right? There's just so much that we never talk about. Mm-hmm. Like we everybody has terms, and how do you teach without terms? That's really where Impossible comes in. So with the app, every single thing, every single skill, every single method that we teach will be listed on it.
Right.
So the way it works is that if I have a kid doing a session with me, say we're doing a drop today, drop cross, and then maybe a drop through, let's say, for the sake of argument. Okay, so now we do that. I'll take out my app. I'll be like, all right, so Krish, for example, Krish did drop cross, drop through, and drop today. Boom, put in your app. You got a workout log, and you got that app in there. On certain date, you did certain skill, and boom. Now all you have to do is go back for the rest of your life, open it up, and do it. Right. You might not even have to do it for the rest of your life because there's just so many things we do. So every time I see a player, I'll give him an installment of his skill. So that's what we do. And then every single skill, like I said, is already there. So you have access to that as well, not just what I gave you. Right. So let's say one day you wake up and you're not seeing me for, let's say, 2-3 days, or you're not seeing me because you're on a vacation. You just pull up the app like, oh, I feel like working on my split throughs today. What is a split through? Oh, I like that. I'll work on it. Sure. Boom. I mean, it's so simple. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. We have an overprivileged generation. Sure. How easy it is to get better nowadays. Yeah, think about
you
that.
have now basically this app that basically explains you step by step exactly what to do.
It is unbelievable.
How to get better, how you can improve. Bro, and does it cover like fitness as well?
We have some areas of fitness where we do.
It obviously ties in, right? If you do the drill 100 times, you're gonna get fit.
Yeah. That too, but like I said, we specialize in the skill aspect of things, so we have an app specifically for just skills. Yeah. So it's 1,000 items long. I think I made a post on my.
Free?
So the app isn't free.
Okay.
If you could go get it through us.
Okay.
But through us,
what do you mean through us?
So the way it works is that the app itself is you can pay through the Impossible, because Impossible is a brand of its own, right? And then you can pay them, just get the app.
Like a monthly
but if you work
fee
with
or
any,
a one-time
it's a monthly fee. It's
that's fine.
Anyways, so but when you do it with us, you get the app.
So if I was to book, if I book one session, I'm guessing I don't get the app. So is it like if
the full access?
If I commit to the 10 class?
So we have monthly sessions, right? So even the one session will get you the app. Okay. So that means I'll see you once a month. Right. I'll see you 2 times a month. I'll see you 3 times a month. You get the app. Every time I see you, you'll get everything logged into the app. And then all you got to do is go and do it. Yeah. Right?
So now, you log, so if I'm doing a session with you, will you log what I've done in your app?
So the app will be on your phone.
Or I'll log what I did in my app.
You won't have access to that because then people can just cheat, hey, I did this, I did everything. Okay. Right? So you won't have access to logging in. That's trainer's part. Okay. So I will have access to it, and all I have to do is, hey, today Krish did this, and it's just one click of button, and you get a notification, hey, this is logged in.
So there's like a different interface for the coach.
Yeah, there's a different interface for the coach, but you will get everything in terms of skills. If you do a session, you get the sessions that we did, you get those stuff. And even if you're not doing a session, you still have the app. So, I mean, even if you work out once a month with us, you still have 1,000 items on the app that you can do on your own. Right. Think about that. I mean, how easy it is for people to just work. Yeah. Will they work? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's a different conversation, right? But like, it's listed.
You've been like in Hong Kong for like a while, right?
Yeah.
How's like, are you planning to stay? Or are you planning to maybe start coaching abroad?
So right now Hong Kong is home, and I've been in here and I've built from scratch. I built Overtime. I mean, people.
How many people are working with Overtime?
So the problem with having coaches work for me is because there's a lot of people that ask me about it. Right. The reason I can't hire coaches is that if I hire you, what are you going to do? Okay. Unless you're certified by Impossible, I can't hire you. Yeah. So there was a kid I was working with long ago. She trained with me for about people see her on Instagram a lot, but she trained with me for about 2 years, and she became so good because she was helping me out because she was helping me out with classes, and I was training her almost every day. Right, that's something I do is kind of what I call doing favors for others, right? So you help me out a little bit. Even when you help me out, you're just gonna assist me. Hey, we're gonna work on a drop. Just teach the kids. You know what it is. Just make sure they don't talk too much. It's not like, hey, run a 2-hour session. Right. So she got really good at teaching as well because she has just a natural understanding of how to teach. So her, obviously, at the end, it didn't work out. She had to focus more on her school, and she chose to give up basketball. But her, I could have got her certified eventually and made her do what I do, and then I could, build my company up. But at the moment, I can't because I'm the only one that knows what I do.
Right.
And this is not to brag about it.
Basically, having the certificate and saying that you're verified to teach this system that I'm teaching right now. Right?
So
that's what you want to keep it consistent.
In order to do that,
you don't want to bring someone in that's not certified, and then it kind of loses what you're selling.
So this is a problem. It's not a problem. It's just my morals don't allow me to build my brand based on lack of service.
Right.
So if I'm doing something at this amount and somebody's doing it at this amount in terms of quality, I don't want that.
You want them to have that certification even if I have 10, that at least proves that they know that system.
Yes, even if I have 10 locations and I got coaches all over Hong Kong doing it, I can't have that because my morals won't allow it. So if I want a certain standard in my classes, then I want everybody to follow. Right. And you can't follow if you don't know. Right. So sure, I can talk to you about it and teach you a little bit. That's why I think kids are a better option, like teenagers that work with me.
Yeah.
I'm working with an 80-year-old kid that's training with me about 2 times a week now.
Right.
So I think he'll be a better option as a future trainer with me. Because he knows what I do and he knows what the system is, so it's easy to get them. And then, but I can always hire a professional player and build my brand on top of that. But I don't want that. So that's really how I see. Because to me, I wasn't supposed to be doing this, right? But by the grace of God, I got really blessed, and I'm able to do this for a very long time, and I don't want to take this for granted. So sure, if I cheat my way into it
you want to keep it
to build my income, to me that just doesn't make sense. So sure, take a step. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm gonna have a few less clients. Who cares, right? I love doing what I do, and I'm gonna keep doing the way I do it, right? So
for them, I guess, to understand like your timings and stuff, what timings and where do you usually coach?
So I coach in Tongchong. That's where I live, and I've been doing in Tongchong for a long time, right? So Tongchong is primarily my location. And evening times around after 4 to like 8 p.m. kind of, that's my time. So I have classes every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday in Tongchong, but over summer we do it almost every day because we got summer camps and everything, so that we can list the summer camps on the app as well. So it's easy to just sign up for 1 week rather than sign up for 4 months.
So the summer camps, when you list it, it'll be listed as the 4 class packages?
No, that would be the big class, the group classes.
The group, I mean, is it a 4, 6, or 10 class package?
Well, let's just make it 4, right? Because it's easy. But then it will be a group class. So there will be like 15 people. Maybe of course. Right? Maybe not more. 15 is a lot to handle.
Yeah, you mentioned 15.
15 is the max I will take. And but there could be less. It could be around that area. So we can give them a snippet of summer camps. Summer camps are basically just every day doing the same thing we do over once a week. Right? Because kids usually have more time during the summer. So then that will be the one we can list.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe to like wrap it on a lighter note, who's your favorite player?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you top 3.
Bro,
because I know one. Okay, Steph. Okay, bro, one.
Steph Curry's going insane these days, man. Have you seen that, man?
Yeah,
I mean, I was gonna say, obviously, I love Luka.
3-0 right now, right?
I love Luka, man.
Right?
But but he's eating them up, man. He's killing them.
Okay, so and then what team is it?
Right now it's got to be Warriors.
Right
man.
now, what?
Bro, because okay, sure.
I mean, do you have like a team that you've supported?
So over my, I started playing a long time ago. When I started, I was a big Iverson fan, right? But then I slowly drifted off as I became a trainer and coach. Now this is probably not a very lighter note, more of a serious note.
No,
I stopped going more into picking players that I like and picking teams that I like because that makes me biased.
Right.
I want to be like that guy. It makes me just do what he does. Like Steph, if people that are a fan of Steph Curry, they want to be exactly like him. So all they do is work on shooting. But I don't want that. So especially as a trainer, I can have biasness.
Well-rounded,
Yeah. So I want to make sure. I don't even know if bias is a word, right? But like I don't want to kind of
lean to one side or dive too much.
But I will pick a player and I'll dissect everything he does. I'll learn everything I can from him. Like Luka's a great example. I wouldn't say lack of athleticism, but he's very, very deceptive. He's controlled. He's slow, right? But he's such a skilled player.
That's what I really like about your sessions. Like you really pay attention to detail. and like you really like closely watch what they're doing
Yeah.
and how they can improve. Like I've seen
Yeah.
that in like your videos and like even previously when you've like taught one of our friends that we know.
Oh yeah, Raggy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, you know, it's I've seen kind of like the passion that you put into it and kind of the dedication that you have with coaching.
So that program was different though, the grind. So we can talk a little bit about the grinds as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
So I mean, I got a lot of different programs.
Yeah, I know.
So the
We'll
reason
get them all listed on
the
Fitaye.
grinds the grinds are probably the most I would say the most lucrative for anybody, and
Okay.
I've because the thing is that there's limited time
Yeah.
and there's limited times on both sides,
Yeah.
right? But there comes a time which I call the grind season,
Sure.
right? Holidays.
Sure.
That time you have nothing to do.
Okay.
Most kids, if you're not traveling, you got nothing to do,
Right.
And obviously the grinds aren't for 5-6-year-old kids. I
The
had an
best part
8-year-old
about
kid do the grind.
holidays.
Yeah, the best part about holidays is that you can do so much
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time.
Right.
The only issue is that's where Netflix comes in, that's
Right.
where games comes in, your
Right.
video games. I
Right.
mean, sure, all
So
the
many
crazy stuff,
distractions, yeah.
right? So many distractions
Yeah.
today. So the grinds for me was because I was training this kid. Real quick story. I was training this kid who would travel to me for 2 hours. He was living all the way on like the other side of Hong Kong. Travel to me 2 hours, do a 1-hour session, travel again for 2 hours
Right,
on
yeah.
a school
Just
day.
dedication, yeah.
And to me, that was like, bro, that is insane. He did that for a couple of years too.
Yeah.
Right now, he's playing in one of the best schools in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? I take no credit for that. He did his emails, he sent out all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't get him into that,
Yeah.
so I don't need
Yeah.
credit for that. But I did help
still
him
helped
improve
him on
his
his
skills.
journey.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'm a
Yeah.
part of his journey.
Part of his journey,
I'm not the core of his journey.
Yeah,
but
of
I
course.
help.
He is the core of his
Yeah,
journey.
he's the core of his journey,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where I find that a lot of times coaches want all the credit. I don't care about the credit.
Yeah.
Credit to me is pointless.
Sure. You're
If the
just trying to
kid got
help.
better,
Yeah,
if let's say if I helped the kid got better,
Yeah.
he knows I helped him. Even a 1% I helped him.
enough.
To me, that's all that matters, right? I don't need the world to know I made
Yeah.
that guy get into the NBA. I don't need that, bro.
Yeah.
He makes the NBA. Me and him know what happened,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it helps getting more clients, but
Yeah.
that's fake.
Yeah.
That's fake. I
Yeah.
mean, like, sure, you can't take credit for things you haven't done, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so he would do that 2 hours, come in, train 1 hour, go back 2 hours. So one summer we decided to train every day, and I was like, because he always wanted to go to the US. So I was like, bro, let's he was like, let's train every day. And I was like, bro, but 2 hours of traveling, 4 hours of
Crazy.
traveling every day. So I was like, how about this? We keep the same price, and I'll train you the whole day.
Yeah.
So it was insane, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where the idea of the grind came in. So
Yeah.
I'll charge you for the 1 hour,
Yeah.
but I will train you for the whole day
Okay.
for that same price. So it's 90% off. I know it's insane. I don't
Yeah.
know what I was thinking.
Crazy.
Right? But for me, it helps.
Right.
It helps others, and
Right.
Sure, it helps me. I get to be around basketball more than
More-
what
a
I would
lot,
be.
yeah.
So that's why summers and holidays get really busy, and then we'll do it on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So the program itself is a week, and then you'll
So
do.
for kids like today, like what hour, like do they usually their school finishes like what 3:30? So you
Yeah.
train them 4:30 to 6.
Well, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
5 to 6.
The kids, and then
so
the
usually anyone looking for availability.
yeah. Well, we got classes going on in Tung Chung anyway.
Age groups? What age groups do you do?
Age groups will be. I don't think I'll take anybody younger than 5.
Okay,
I had
yeah.
3-year-olds, but that becomes babysitting.
So over 5 all the way to pro. Availables weekdays and weekends.
Yeah, weekdays,
Um,
weekends.
His availability is on Fitaye, and
Yeah,
also you
we'll
can
list that out for you guys.
can book it. Yeah, you can book him through Fitaye, and